Hello and welcome to the Rider Rumblings podcast. This is episode 187, and this is an episode about the Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders. We haven't been able to say that, Daryl, on this Rider Rumblings podcast, but what a game it was on Sunday night as the Roughriders prevailed over the Alouettes to win their first title in 12 years. Lots to unpack this week. Where do you want to start?
Well, congratulations. Good job on your coverage, by the way. You were in Winnipeg and you did a great job keeping us informed and not getting wet in the Rough Riders locker room and inhaling some secondhand cigar smoke with you. But you've survived. You do sound a little raspy. I know that tingle from that you get as the week goes by and covering it for Leader-Post and Star Phoenix and everybody. So good job. I think we probably got to start with what you and I kind of have written about, that this is only their fifth Grey Cup in franchise history, and 12 years since their last one. The way they were able to do it, that's kind of tough, having that hanging over your shoulders. With Trevor Harris, too, it's his first Grey Cup win as a starter. Having that hanging over you is tough to keep up to, isn't it? And you have to, how do you respond? Do you crumble underneath it? They weren't built to crumble. They were built to handle to be resilient. And I think that's what's the most impressive thing. Anything that went wrong, Taylor, they were able to overcome it calmly, responsibly, the way we've seen this team react to so many situations. And that's what impressed me the most. How about you, from your viewpoint?
Yeah, 100%. They didn't shy away from the pressure. They didn't shy away from the storylines. I think they downplayed some of the storylines a little bit and said, we're treating it just like another game. We want to go 1-0. Like they said all that this week. And there was this sort of, it wasn't a swagger, but there was like this confidence around the team covering them in Winnipeg throughout the week, that they knew that they were going to get the job done. Obviously, you still have to play the game, make the plays, not make mistakes. And when it came down to the game, I think they did exactly that. Montreal certainly did not have their best game of the year. 3 interceptions Davis Alexander threw, and then that fumble, that Shea Patterson fumble on the goal line. That, to me, was the play of the game. There was a bunch of different plays that were sort of turning points, but that one, to me, sort of cemented the win, although it was never a certainty at that point. But that, to me, was the...
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, it looked like they were marching downfield. Brett Lothar had missed a 39-yard field goal. Remember, all season, what have we been talking about? Is Brett Lothar going to cost them a game in the playoffs or the Grey Cup? And it looked like it might have. But then Shea Patterson, who the Riders didn't want to keep because he wasn't very good at short yardage, goes in, is playing for the Alouettes and fumbles away the football. Tavon Campbell, looks like, made the play, made the strip, had a great game. Tavon Campbell was up and down, got beaten a couple times, but also made some big plays. We knew that would probably happen. And then Marcus Sayles recovered in the end zone, and that was it. You're right. The Rough Riders had lost momentum by that time. The Alouettes were taking control, and that fumble just kind of deflated them. I know that there was still a chance or so after that because Montreal is a good football team, but boy, oh boy, things might have been really, really different if they had plunged into the end zone for a touchdown there.
Yeah, and to put in Shea Patterson, I understand he runs their short yardage, but it wasn't necessarily 3rd and 1 from the 1. They were back, right? They were, I think, on the 4-yard line, and it was 2nd and 2. So interesting decision not to put in your franchise quarterback, right? They've been talking about how high they are on Davis Alexander. Oh, okay, he has a hamstring injury. Can he run short yardage? Probably not, but at least give him like a run-pass option type of play. That I was a little bit surprised that they rolled up Patterson for that. And
right. Especially Campbell, how well was Stevie Scott playing in their backfield?
Or that, right? Or just give me a handoff on 2nd down, another handoff on 3rd down, right? I think the Riders got a little bit fortunate that Marcus Sayles was deemed in the end zone and not on the half-yard line, 1-yard line. Like that was 25, 30 yards. That would have flipped the field, right? And then you would have been punting from your end zone had you not gotten a first down or two.
Yeah. That
would have changed the complexion of the game because they would have been already in scoring range. There's, a lot of different
That was a strange call. You're right. I couldn't believe that they called it. Once again, the replay center always rears its ugly head in some games like this, and there were some weird ones. Great pass review by
a good challenge
in the first quarter, but they had let it go, and you kept thinking, oh, okay, well, the Riders are in trouble here, and then they get a conversion on 3rd down because of the pass interference call, a later roughing the passer penalty that you think, well, I don't know if that was roughing the passer, but it seems like the God Center keeps stepping in once in a while. I didn't see Marcus Sayles being in the end zone. I thought he recovered it on the half-yard line on the goal line, so it shouldn't have been back there, I thought. But I guess if it breaks the plane once again, going that way too. So they got a lot of breaks. That's true. The 3 interceptions that you talked about, that Davis Alexander threw, courageous effort by the kid. Trying to win his 14th straight game as the Alouette starter. What a storyline too, in memory of his father who died of cancer recently too. The kid's an amazing young player. The guts he showed to in that game, but the Riders, you have to take advantage of those situations. The 3 interceptions, they knew that he couldn't run eventually, so they altered their defense a little bit. And the Rough Riders played exceptionally well to beat a decent team. You're right. They knew what they were doing against a great Montreal Alouettes defense. Trevor Harris completed 80-some% of his passes again, earns Outstanding Player Award. A great story in him too, right? And I guess the big thing now, he's a free agent, right? And people have asked him, is he retiring? He's been pretty coy about it. What do you think? Is he coming back for another season? Nobody's won back-to-back with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We talk about their 4 previous championships. Nobody put it back-to-back. You think he's concerned about trying to do that?
It's interesting. And we did ask him a few times throughout the week, is this your last game? And even after, we talked a little bit about it. I don't think he's going to give an answer. I don't even know if he knows at this point. And I don't necessarily think he should know. I think he should take a day, take a week. I think he knows in the back of his head that he wants to come back. I don't think he's done. It doesn't feel like he's done. Yeah. But I don't think he needs to make that decision. I think he comes back next year. I think Jeremy O'Day gives him another 1-year deal and says, let's run it back with the guys that we can get back. The leader among them, right, is Harris, who's going to help retain some of those other guys, right? Yep. I think Trevor will be back. I think another 1-year deal will be signed. But I also think he needs to take a day and just kind of sit back and say, do I want to go through the grind again?
Yeah.
For
He
sure.
was healthy this year, though, right? So that made a difference. He's a big family guy. We know that. They have to be apart a little bit during the season. So that he'll miss that a little bit. But he loves his team, as they all do. The closeness of this team really shines through. And the job that they did. He joked about not even having to wear shoulder pads against the Alouettes.
He did not get touched.
That offensive line was amazing. I thought, it's not the glamorous position, but oh my goodness, what a job that group did. Hey, did you see that as the most important aspect of the football game?
Yeah, because we didn't see it, if that makes sense. We didn't talk about it. There was never a break. AJ Ouellette I think he had an outstanding game. He was arguably the Riders' like Sam Emilus, I think deserves top Canadian, 10 catches. Yeah. An amazing 31-yard catch, and then AJ Ouellette deserves a bit of props too for being the November AJ Ouellette that this team signed, not the June, July AJ Ouellette. He's good in the regular season, but that is when you need your best players to play their best games. And he didn't have 100 yards and didn't absolutely steal the spotlight away from Harris, who I think deserved the MVP, but AJ Ouellette was certainly a factor.
Did you see the blocks? He was picking up blitzes too.
That's what I mean. All of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a big catch too. Like I guess he might have had over 100 yards combined. But when you talk about pass protection, he is certainly among those who help keep Trevor Harris upright. We could talk about the starting 5 or the big guys when they go big, but AJ Ouellette certainly deserves some props for keeping Harris upright. Which again, that you don't notice it, but that is a big story when it comes to him getting the ball out. He was 85%, which is a Grey Cup record completion rate.
302 yards.
Well deserving.
Yeah. No interceptions.
And again, why not run it back? He's healthy all year. How could you not say he's not playing at his best right now in his career, right?
Yeah.
Even if you take away the age, right? But does he want to come back? Does he want to go through the grind of off-season training camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or does he want to go out? Or does he want to go out on top? Does he want to walk off the field a champion and be like, "I'll never"? You can never create that again unless you went back to back.
Maybe we've praised them how the job Jeremy O'Day's done building this team, the roster around it. Depends on who comes back, but I think most of these guys would come back. They might lose a few, of course you do after a championship season. Somebody gets offered more money and says, "Hey, I'll win over here too." Mm-hmm. But this team is built pretty soundly and would have another chance to repeat. And I think that'll go into his decision. You make a good point, though. Let it kind of percolate with him for a little while. Sit there, talk it over with his family. AJ Ouellette said he'll be praying too about it, right? So those are the type of things that Trevor Harris will do. He's a very thoughtful guy, but he's pretty gung-ho about this football team too, and is truly their leader. I think there'll be a lot of guys saying, come on back, Trevor, come on back.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, what I said, I think he will, like Mace obviously is sort of that leader among recruiting, right? When it comes to, hey, jump on the wagon. We're going to run this thing back type of thing. But okay, if Trevor Harris starts next year, does he then get another 1-year contract because the Riders are hosting the Grey Cup in 2 years? Like, does that even play into it? It's such an interesting thing of, okay, can we make it 3 in a row? When do you make that change?
Yeah.
Can Trevor Harris play till he's 45? I don't know. Why not? Like, if he's healthy and staying upright and he's got a good offensive line, why not?
Yeah. Tom Brady did it.
That's what I mean. So interesting debates in terms of what Jeremy O'Day and company want to do with their roster. And I mean, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are a good example. A lot of players took some discounts to stay. And you look at their stretch, right? They kept running it back and they built this sort of, they didn't win as many to call them a dynasty necessarily, but they had sustained success, right? We've heard that word lots in this franchise. And
yeah.
When you think about sustained success, like it's continuity and bringing that core group back. They've got O'Day and Mace and the leaders at the top to bring it back, but you do need the players too. And I think they have the players in-house who want to stick around.
Yeah.
Can they make it work financially, or will there be some guys saying, I could use some more money elsewhere? But
yeah, but a lot of them just want to come back. You're right. And the appeal of winning back-to-back in Saskatchewan, I think, is pretty strong. We keep saying it's never been done. They've only won 4, and they've spaced them. They've spaced them around. So it's tough. Back in the 60s and 70s, they were contending every year. They lost a few Grey Cups back in that era. These guys have, they've won 4 of their last 7 appearances. So that's not a bad record, but putting it back together would be back to back, I think, would be something that I think Trevor Harris, if he does, and you and I think he'll come back, if he does and he makes the announcement, that's going to be part of it, right? The chance to win back to back in Saskatchewan was just too great. And I think that's what we're going to hear when he eventually says, I'm going to play again. That's my guess anyway.
Yeah, I would say so. And you wrote about it leading up to the week or leading up to the game, but the word love and the word brothers and all of that, I think that does play into wanting to run it back and that recruiting where guys, and there will be some guys, and I guess rightfully so, you got to look out for yourself. There will be some guys chasing money in free agency. They had a good year. They're a Grey Cup champion. That's appealing to other teams now. Very appealing. There will be some guys that do leave in free agency. This team will not look the same next year. But based on the vibe around this team, again, that sort of family mentality, I think there will be plenty of players who may take that discount, if you want to call it that, just to stay in green and white and run it back. And
yeah. Taylor, how many guys did they keep last year when they didn't make it to the Grey Cup, right? And Jeremy O'Day, the general manager, said everyone we offered a contract to came back. Right. I don't know if you're right. I don't know if they'll have that type of record this time, but they probably will get a great majority of them back if they say they want them back. So it's a good vibe around this football team, and I think that's, as you said, makes it more appealing for a lot of them to stay here. Yeah, and we haven't seen the list of pending free agents quite, or haven't seen the official list, I guess. We do know a few guys who are free agents. Trevor Harris, AJ Ouellette signed a 2-year deal. Jamarcus Hardrick, signed that 2-year deal. Some of the leaders, Jimmy Thurman, Roland Milligan, guys like that are locked up. Yeah, and I think every receiver basically is a free agent. So, okay. But in the CFL, everyone's on a 1-year deal, and you kind of construct your roster from scratch every year, right? But the fact that the Riders get 3 months to talk to your pending free agents and assemble your team, obviously they'll have a head start for free agency in terms of who they want to get back. But yeah, I don't see a player that you're like a starter that you say we're moving on from you. Yeah, no, I think you offer almost everybody a deal. Yeah, like Hardrick after a tough year last year, hardly plays, and you think, is it worthwhile keeping him back? Yeah, it's worth. I guess it was. At one stage, I was wondering why would they pay that much money to somebody who doesn't play, but he's the heart and soul of this football team, and he plays every game, plays great. Well, every game they wanted him to play. He's healthy throughout, and the spiritual center of this football team. How many guys did he carry around last night? Right, running downfield on screenplays and just amazing effort for a guy. Outstanding offensive lineman for the first time in his career. I know he's been a runner-up one time. So, yeah, there's guys you look at and you say, yeah, I want them all. Micah Johnson says he wants to come back, right? The bond between him and head coach Corey Mace is unbreakable now, I think. So, it's a team that's well-positioned to move forward, and you don't have to make many changes to it. You always need to have some guys. Don Matthews used to say, always try to turn over 10 to 20% of the roster every year just to keep it fresh, to keep it challenging. That might be a little heavy. I don't think they have to do that much with this roster. But
no, not within the starters too, especially if you look at sort of the depth chart. I think if Jeremy O'Day would have had his checkbook out last night and walked around the locker room and started cutting guys checks and saying, hey, come back, here's your contract.
Yeah.
Not
what
ready
do they
to
get
check.
anyway? Did they all make like 18 grand last night for winning?
Yeah, there's some,
something like that. I can't remember exactly what the exact figure is, but I think you and I looked at it, and that's kind of what it amounts to. So that's a nice little bonus that they weren't expecting.
So, but you have this, you're coming off this high, right, of winning a Grey Cup. So I think if you start some negotiations now, you'll get a lot of positive answers. And sure, they made how many over $1,000 for playing, but a lot of guys, geez, like talking to some of the guys post game, that ring, right, the elusive Grey Cup ring. The trophy, winning with your brothers, all that just you could just sense like relief almost. Anytime you win something that big, like I'm talking about guys like Tavon Campbell, didn't need to play football this year, made enough money down in the NFL, but came back and told me in August he came back to win a ring. I talked to him last night on Sunday night, and just the smile on his face, he's like, this is why I signed here, and this is why I went through the grind of coming back. He didn't need how much ever money he's making. He made enough down south, but came back, wanted to win, and won. Other guys like we talked about the Regina or like the Saskatchewan contingent, Jorgen Hughes, Brett Lawther, who is I guess an adopted Saskatchewanian at this point, but has grinded out Mitch Picton, the lead up to him. But some of the guys that have been here since 2015, 16, 17, 18, who have been through the lows, been through the almost high of 19, right? Coming back and then going through the tough seasons before getting so close last year, right? You could just see I don't know if we'll call it relief, but just the grind is now paid off, right?
Yeah.
The 10-year drought for the guys who have been around.
And they're bonded forever.
Yeah.
Right. When you get a winning team, they're always champions, and they always have that camaraderie, that bond, that physical and championship bond. They all have this. They'll all be wearing the same rings for the rest of their lives. Yeah, that's what matters to athletes: winning and the bonding, and you forget some games, but you don't forget many teammates as you go along. So I think that has a lot to do with it, and they do like each other. We joked about hearing love so often from those guys. You started going, "Oh my God, gag me with a spoon on that one," because but they believed it so fully that we just kind of had to go along with it, right? And it showed. It really did, and I think that's why they have a chance to here they just won, and we're talking about maybe a chance to repeat. But I think that they're built that way that they certainly could, and we'll see where they go and who comes back.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to obviously talk about throughout the off season.
We're going to keep the podcast going?
No, but just to write about maybe. How about that?
Okay,
we'll wrap up the
we
podcast.
can do a podcast every once in a while too.
We'll wrap up the podcast this week, but like I said, there's going to be lots of stuff to write about.
Yeah.
And the decisions that will need to be made leading up to free agency, and then that sort of run it back mentality that obviously they'll want to take into next year. So a lot of off-season storylines to percolate it and write about up until training camp opens in May, right? A short off season for this team this year, and they're going to certainly enjoy it. But in 6 months now, we're going to be writing about the chance to run it back, and I think rightfully so, because it's not. I don't feel like this is a one-off. Sure, they might not win next year, like it takes a lot to win a championship. But I think if you ask me right now that this team is going to be in first place next year, because why not?
Yeah,
I don't see them taking a step back. And
no,
sometimes
they took a step forward from last year, right?
Yeah.
We talked last year quite a bit about them not quite being ready. They were still learning a little bit, right? Corey Mason, the coaching staff, still finding their footing a little bit, and the players kind of getting used to everything. The bond that they built and the knowledge they got from last season carried into this season. So why wouldn't it carry into next season even more? Yeah. Right now, they're the favorites to win next year, wouldn't they be?
I guess so. All right. Well, that does it for this Grey Cup episode of the Rider Rumblings podcast, episode 187. Any final closing remarks, thoughts?
Yeah,
on the season,
get
Daryl?
some sleep. Get some sleep.
I got to go to
the.
There's a parade this week I have to go to, I guess.
Oh, on Tuesday? Okay. Maybe that's what we can watch Jeremy O'Day do his negotiating during the parade.
Sure, yeah.
As we're recording this Monday morning, right? So, yeah, there's a meet and greet with the Riders when they get to the stadium. There'll be some bleary red eyes there, too, I'm pretty sure. And then the parade on Tuesday. So, what the heck? It's going to be a celebration around here. And we still got the Vanier Cup coming up on this weekend with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies playing the University of Montreal. Another Saskatchewan-Montreal matchup. Saskatchewan's done pretty well this season.
Interesting storylines. All right, well, nice job covering this team all season.
You too.
Great coverage. It's it's been fun, and I might go back to Rider Rumblings episode, whatever it was, in training camp, and I bet you that we both said that this team would be in this position right now. They believed it, we believed it, and it happened. We're not surprised, but
we weren't. We did. I think you find pretty consistently that we said that they were certainly a Grey Cup contender. We didn't know they'd win. We thought they'd probably make it here. So we're not changing our story halfway through. You probably could go back and see, hey, that's what Daryl and Taylor said early this season. So yeah, maybe we just knew it. There was a feeling about it especially after last season, what they learned from last season and put into use this season. Really impressive to watch, an impressive showing, and I know there's a lot of happy fans around this entire province.
All right, Daryl. Well, thanks again for joining the podcast this year, and enjoy the off season.
Yeah, as short as it'll be. Thanks, Taylor. Drive safely.
Take care.